You know what I hate the most? When people are like, oh, I like this TV show. And then I'm like, nah, I tried it. I didn't like it. And they're like, well, how far did you watch? I'm like, I watched like the first 2 episodes. And they're like, oh no, you actually have to get to like episode 6. And I'm like, that's half the season.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Oh man, I was trying to remember the line that cracked me up, but then I realized I couldn't remember anything.
Do you want me to look up quotes? I do have the quotes from IMDb up.
I don't know. It was in one of those like slightly sleepy fugue states, and I woke up to Laura Dern dying on a street and someone talking about her sister way too long, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And Terry Crews was there.
Oh yeah, when they were talking about like, oh yeah, my sister Nico, she puts on the blonde wig, and then they talk about her needing to go to the hospital for all these different reasons, and Terry Crews just goes,
it's like,
now why would you tell us?
Yeah, it's like, come on baby, settle down or something.
Yeah. Why would you tell us all that?
She just keeps going, and I'm like, okay. But
in any case, if you're confused, don't worry. So were we.
Yeah.
We watched another David Lynch movie.
It's the last one. I won't say forever, but it'll probably be for a while for us. Recorded. It might be the last one recorded. Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, so
there's always next year.
Payne said that when he was looking into these are like loosely called the LA trilogy because they're all filmed or like located in LA for David Lynch, and this is the last one. I didn't do the research to prepare myself for a 3-hour movie, but we watched a 3-hour movie. Have we done? I think the only other 3-hour movies we've watched were Kurosawa films, because we skipped the Kubrick 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I heard someone talking about on one of the podcasts I was listening to, and it's like apparently considered a classic that everyone hates. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not upset that we skipped that.
Yeah, that's okay. We got Dr. Strangelove, and you know what?
Yeah. For
the better. But in any case, if you're confused about what we're yammering on about, because this is the first time you've stumbled upon us.
Well, how dare you?
Yes. We have throughout the year, we are getting to the end of it, which feels weird. Like looking at our list of movies, there's a lot less to watch. We have been watching through different directors, one for each month of the year, so that's 12 directors. This was our David Lynch month, since we figured like September going into October, something a little bit eerie, a little creepy before the Halloween season. And yeah, it fit.
Yeah, a little too well.
They're definitely unsettling.
This feels more creepy than probably the movies that we have set up for next month.
That's debatable. Next month, one of them is definitely not a horror. I would say 2 of them are not horror.
2 of them
movies.
are not horror, but it's like, well, oops, I clicked on something. It's yeah.
He's a classic director in the genre at the least.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss any comments as I'm like clicking through.
Oh yeah, we used to get emails with updates. I haven't been checking those emails, so hey, comment if we've missed one of your comments, and maybe we'll get an email.
I checked, and then I don't think my phone, whatever setup I do now, it doesn't have the update. Like, it doesn't update me. Like, it used to tell me all the time when it's like, Hoppocalypse has sent something on your Google Drive. Google Drive is like, why is my phone turning on? What is this? There was something. I don't know what it is. It's gone now. Take that. So, yeah. But yeah, it's I will say, with Lynch, I feel like I've always heard stuff about his movies, about how he directs, what his movies are about, and they're not wrong. I feel like this. I feel like, yes, I had heard the rumors and had an idea about Lynch, and just getting a snapshot of Lynch made me realize I didn't know as much as I thought I did. So, I still think I enjoy his. I think I still like TV Lynch a little bit. Like, not that the movies were necessarily bad, but I think it's just I feel like on TV it kind of reins them in a little bit more. So the story's not that it's easier to follow, but it's like I feel like we don't go off the deep end with as we do with some of these other movies.
Yeah, like we did like Mulholland Drive, and then you said you found out that it was actually like set up to be more in a TV format, and he was like, "Funding? I make movie?" And that one definitely felt a little closer to the way that his TV stuff, from what I've seen of Twin Peaks. I didn't watch all of Twin Peaks, but it does feel a little bit closer to the way that handles itself. And I think now that I've watched them all, other than Eraserhead, which I had already watched previously, I do think Mulholland Drive might be my number 2 of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like you said, a lot of people highly regard Blue Velvet, but we have the things that we're like, we're not going to force ourselves to watch this if we don't have to.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say that. I think pretty much on all the lists I read that Blue Velvet is his magnum opus according to People's, but I don't know. I'm like, I'm good from the different things. Who knows? I might watch it later, but I'm like, okay, watching a month straight of Lynch, I'm like, I need a break.
It's also like not that his movies are predictable, but it's not shocking in a way. I wonder if it's one of those things, if these were like spread out a little bit more and I didn't feel like I knew what I was getting into, then maybe I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I feel like if we were watching these almost like how they've been released, I think the shock factor and some of the stuff would have been like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, it's there. But it's just like watching back to back, it's like, all right, there's the boobs. There's, oh, yep, girls be kissing again. Oh, a man is being psychotic. So, but I don't know. It's, I will say, watching this movie, I did remember it being 3 hours long because I think I made a comment to Hop like a week or two ago. Like after I think it was when we watched the Straight Story. I was like, oh man, the next movie is 2 hours long, and then the one after that, like, so Lost Highway I think was like 2 hours long. Mulholland Drive is 2.5 hours long. Inland Empire is 3 hours long. I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do to us? So, but no, it's. But I will say that he has a certain style, and it would be very hard to not, like, it'd be pretty difficult to miss his style.
Yeah, and I guess, like, out of, like, after watching these, even though, like, not all of these were my favorite movie ever, other than The Straight Story, I would say he at least didn't let Hollywood get to him. Because watching through these last 3, I was like, I'm pretty sure he loves making movies and hates Hollywood. Like, that's all I've gotten out of these 3 movies. He hates big city, he hates forced social events, and he hates the type of people you meet in this industry. But he loves making movies. So much so that Inland Empire is a movie about making a movie.
Well, and so is Mulholland Drive in a sense. Yeah. And people make movies in Lost Highway. They're a little weird and creepy. But
yeah, not for theater, but yes, camcorders were involved in that.
Well, not for public theater.
At least for another set of eyes. Yeah. At least one other set of eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, eyes that should stay wide shut.
Yeah.
I heard that apparently Kubrick, I think it was Kubrick, he got so fed up with Hollywood that he started shooting everything over in Europe. So by the time it's just like, he's like, no, we're filming, and it's just like, hey, well, if you have a problem with it, you can go ask the executives back in Hollywood, but I'm going to keep moving forward because I got deadlines. And by the time all the executives wake up in Hollywood, he's like, oh no, I already finished shooting. So,
that's funny.
It's like I'm not a huge fan of the the majority of the Kubrick films we watched, but it was hearing that I was like, yeah, that's funny.
All right, so then I have to ask you, are you ready to roll some dice?
Maybe.
Maybe. Again, if this is your first time here, in order to decide who gives a short, non-spoiler summary of the movie, we roll 12-sided dice, one for each director that we've watched or will be watching throughout this year for this series. Highest number gets to give like a 1 or 2 sentence summary, and then we'll ask each other some questions to kind of get the conversation going. And then after that, we will head off to Spoiler Town, and you'll be warned. You'll be warned plenty. I don't know how much there is to spoil.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things happening.
Which die should I roll? I feel like I ask you this now all the time.
I don't remember what you did last time. I know you got rid of the blue one.
Yeah, I don't know where it went.
I thought you put it back in your jar.
Did I? I don't remember. Well, I rolled, but it wasn't on purpose.
All right. Let me roll now. Are you sticking with your number? Are you re-rolling?
I don't know. I'll do this. I know what it was. I'll roll a d6. Odds or evens?
Odds.
Okay, if I roll odds, I will roll differently. Okay, I rolled a 1, which is conveniently what I rolled on the die. So I'm re-rolling. Well, there's a 1 on there again. But it has a 0 after it. I had rolled a 10.
A 10 out of 12. I only rolled an 8 out of 12. Back-to-back weeks for you to give the summary.
Oh, man.
Good luck with this one.
Women be having problems.
Isn't that the tagline of the movie?
I
think Lynch.
It's woman in trouble.
Yeah.
A woman in trouble. I didn't even realize that. I just was like, that.
That feels like when you have the kid, he stands up and he goes, all right, you ready to read your book report? And they're like, all right, I read Lord of the Flies. It's a book about flies who are lorded over. No, you didn't read the book.
Yeah, no, I remember, I think it was in 11th grade, my teacher thought that I, for a book report, watched the movie and wrote the report on the movie instead of reading the book. And I was like, I didn't even know there was a movie. You can literally talk to my mom. Like, she watched me read it. And so apparently my book report was just like fully following what the movie was about. I still haven't watched the movie. It was Black Hawk Down. So
I haven't read the book or watched the movie.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like an interesting thing, but it's like I haven't looked at the history. But anyway, so this movie pretty much we follow Laura Dern's character, whose name I completely forget.
I'll check on IMDb for you really quickly.
Thanks. As this old lady that's new to the neighborhood comes in and starts telling her that she's seen tomorrow, but will forget yesterday, and everything will be a fading memory. But she's going to be joining this movie, and all this stuff. And so it's just like kind of very confusing, and to the point where she's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Look, you're sitting over there." And then we kind of move forward in time as we follow, what's her name in the movie?
So it's either Nikki or Susan.
Nikki.
So I think Nikki is the actress.
Yeah. So we follow Nikki, Laura Dern's character, as she joins this cast of the movie that they learn is kind of like a cursed movie. All while, she, this is the problem of, watching this half awake. But yeah, essentially she's pretty much, the whole movie is her where it's the lines between filming and reality seem to blur. And she kind of forgets, it almost seems like she's trying to remember who who and when and where she is, as she kind of goes into madness and beyond. And then there's other people there. There's also rabbit people.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know if that was a good synopsis, but it was a synopsis. Oh, and there was a lot of Polish.
Mm-hmm. I got subtitles for that on the DVD edition.
So did I.
Had no, not an option for subtitles anywhere else. So that's why I complained about the volume mixing when I was just like, oh goody. It's an old enough DVD that there's no English subtitle options.
I could tell when there was actual subtitles in, like, for the movie rather than what Amazon was showing, because I don't know her name. We were talking about her before. Oh, Yuki. Yuki.
Oh, okay.
They were like, I was like, I can understand kind of what she's saying. Why do they have to put subtitles up? I'm just like, and then I had to sit there and was like, is it because I'm just like, I'm now around a lot of people that where English is their second language, so I'm like used to the accent. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm following what she's saying. Well, like words, not content, but anyway.
Yeah, I could also understand what she was saying, but yeah, the original DVD did have it subtitled as well.
So,
yeah, you ready for some questions then?
Sure.
You sound just as ready as anybody in that movie did.
That's one thing I'll show this for Spoiler Town.
Okay. All right. Before we hop right into Spoiler Town, I must ask you, if this was the only movie you watched by David Lynch, would you watch the rest of their catalog?
No.
Wow, same.
Yeah, it's, I don't know if it's something similar to where it was like a Kubrick situation watching like most of his film. Like, not that I'm saying, I don't know. That's a tough question right now as I'm finishing David Lynch, where I'm like, I think I'm good with Lynch, but I don't know if I would want to watch. I don't know if I would want to go back and watch more Kubrick or watch more David Lynch. That's a tough question right now, but it's just like it was. It was just some of the movies were just long, and like this one was just long, and to the point where I'm like, I lost the thread. To where, like, I think Mulholland Drive, I wouldn't mind watching it again. Same with Eraserhead. Like, I think those two I would be interested to watch again. Like, now that it's like, oh, okay, I seen the movies and I seen like all his editing stuff. Now let's see if I can piece the movie together a little bit more.
Sit with theory in it instead of just experiencing it.
Rather than. Because it feels like the first watch, at least for me, was like, all right, here's the fire hose, get ready, and it's going to be like Clockwork Orange, where we're going to just strap your eyes open for you to watch. Oh man, I didn't mean to bring it back to Kubrick twice. But anyway, it was interesting. How about you?
Yeah, I agreed. Like, if this was the only one I've watched, I would not continue the catalog because I would assume they would all be 3-hour movies. Because some directors, like, they have a thing for themselves where they make all their movies about the same length or have, like, the same ideas for a movie. And it's just, like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just old now, and when I see 3 hours for something, I go, huh. There's not a lot of, like, times that I see a piece of media is that long. It's like when people are like, this is a great TV show, and each episode is over an hour, and I'm like,
You know what I hate the most? When people are like, oh, I like this TV show, and then I'm like, nah, I tried it, I didn't like it. And they're like, well, how far did you watch? I'm like, I watched, like, the first 2 episodes. And they're like, oh, no, you actually have to get to, like, episode 6. And I'm like, that's half the season. Or that's a quarter of the season. Why do I got to wait that long for it to get good? You know what? I hate even more when people are like, oh, no, you have to get to season 3 for the show to get good. I was like, then that's not a good show.
That's too much commitment.
It's like, yeah, of course it got good at that point because
you've invested so much time.
It's like, yeah. And it's like, no, this isn't like back when it was on air. Like, I could understand if it was on air because there was no Netflix or whatever you want to watch your TVs on. Like, there was like, we got to watch this or another recasting of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. French Prince of Bel-Air would be interesting too. But anyway, it's like, to be fair, I wouldn't mind watching more Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Don't worry, they already did the dark and gritty one.
A Fresh Prince? Wait, did
yeah.
you? Oh, that's right. I don't want to watch that though.
I mention it because somebody who I know is younger was watching it, and I was confused because it was the same plot lines. They removed a lot of the humor. Just not
funny.
And they did a lot of stuff that was like, from what I remember, it was like, oh, this is like an important thing that happens in like season 2, but it was all within like 2 1-hour episodes. And I was like, the person watching it was asking me, they're like, why is he like using drugs? I'm like, well, if they gave it time, they would explain to you that he uses drugs because he wants to be good at academics, but because you meet the character and he's already high, you don't, like, you know, it was a lot. And I was like, why did they squeeze like multiple seasons into something? Like, are they just trying to rush through it so they can write their own original content? Who did this?
Like, who was the streaming? Was it Netflix? Because it makes sense.
No, I want to say maybe like an HBO or a Paramount. Like one of the... I don't think it was Netflix.
That's something I wish they... Well, I say wish, but at the same time, I don't know what's coming out now. But it's like... I feel like there's not a lot of good like sitcoms that... And this is me growing up in the 90s, seeing a lot of these sitcoms where it's like... Yeah, there was like silly, funny stuff where they filmed in front of a live audience, but at the same time, like they did tackle like real issues. It's not like haha funny, haha farts, and it's like I don't know. The whole I still get like remember when it was like going back to Fresh I don't know why I keep saying Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like when he's like when the actor version of Will's dad shows up and leaves him, he's like, why does he not want me? And it's like, I remember that whole scene.
Yeah, and that was one of those moments where people were like, oh, he can be a drama actor. And then afterwards in every movie...
he wasn't acting.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have more questions.
Yes, so we both agree that this is not the movie that we would
Lynch should make a sitcom.
Some may say parts of Twin Peaks feel like a sitcom.
I won't deny that.
How much did you root for the characters in this movie? If any at all?
Hold on, let me look at the IMDb because I'm forgetting the characters.
That's not a good sign.
I know.
Personally, I don't think I rooted for anybody. Because this is one of the things that Lynch will do is he makes like he has one actor and a lot of those singular actors play multiple roles. So it's hard for me to really follow if I'm supposed to root for anybody. Because also another popular thing for Lynch is you don't like anybody. And he did a really good job of that in this movie.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anybody where it's just like, oh, okay. And then it was just like poopies all the way down for like everyone's be poops. I don't know. Maybe there's like the shadow monster that lurks in the corners there for like 2 seconds. I vote for him.
The Phantom at the very end. I think that's what he's labeled at is in the IMDb.
I forgot that there was actually one.
There was something that happened in the end. No, it's fine. I just remember, I'll save it for Spoiler Town. I just remember the visual and thinking, that looks like something somebody today would make. I'll explain it during Spoiler Town. All right.
Yes. Like I had to like
Yeah,
click
you
it real
remember
quick, and
now.
I was like, oh yes, that was. I just saw the screenshot and I was like, yep,
Yeah.
that's a indie horror game. Now I know where like all the indie horror stuff inspiration comes from right now. Anyway,
Yeah, so we both agree there's not really rootable characters in this.
you know, I'll vote for the Phantom.
The Phantom.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got a good face.
What grade would you give the overall plot?
Uh, yeah. I don't know, like, cause I don't I kind of want to I will say I don't know if I'm just chalking this up for me just being tired while watching this, but I don't know what like the goal of the movie was, and
I was awake the whole time. Was I multitasking at certain points? Sure. But I also, like,
is this his last movie?
I don't remember if it was his last movie. I didn't look that up. But what I would say is the
It
impression I got
is.
from.
Yeah.
Okay. The impression I got from this movie was, like, kind of like it was his chance to do whatever he wanted with his funds, and that's what it
Yeah.
feels like. Because he chose to do it on camcorder, which is like cool, and not really something for bigger budgets at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like a lot of really interesting monologues strung together, but not a lot of like things happening to go along with the monologues. And I noticed there were just kind of like in Mulholland Drive, where we pointed out that there are different things that if we were to rewatch it, we would be like, oh yeah, we have to look out for this shape or this color or this like object that everyone references.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that happening a lot in this, but it almost happened so much where I was seeing things get tied back together that I was like, if you told me someone watched a David Lynch film and then decided to make their own, I would believe you, because it felt like it was doing things almost too much like David Lynch,
Yeah.
where yeah, I mean, again, just my opinion of being sat there to watch something for 3 hours and go, and why? I don't know, like even like
Mm-hmm.
Lost Highway, even though I didn't understand a lot of like the discussion of the movie, I could still see why
There's
you would see like want to create it.
yeah, like there's even though it's silly, there's still like it felt like a plot was there. This felt like because there's multiple scenes in here, and we'll probably talk about this in Spoiler Town, where it felt like he was referencing his own work,
Yes.
and I'm like, it almost made me wonder. It's just like, because the hallway scene there was like that reminded me of Lost Highway, and I was like, oh, is this why people are saying it connects? Like, and just different things where I'm like, where it just felt like certain things were connecting all there, and like I think that might be the only reason I would kind of want to watch like his. I think I would want to do like another watch of his movies, and then watch this one, to be like, okay, is all his original works, is he kind of like saying that the I almost said esoteric, the dream like state, the surrealness and like all that stuff is actually all kind of mashed together, which it could be there and it could be true, but well, I don't know if there's he doesn't seem from the like bits and bobs that I've read of his interviews that he kind of goes into detail about that stuff. And I don't know if this is me just the time that we're in where if I feel like we're getting away from it, but it's like for a while it's like everything needed to be its own universe. So it's like was he kind of making subtle hints and stuff of like connections and all that. But anyway, it's not so much I was interested in the story. Like some of this, like in the beginning, I was like, okay, this is interesting, and then it was just like, and then it was more like a stream of conscious. That's literally what the Wikipedia is saying right there.
I mean, it is because
Yeah.
you have these like I won't call them long-winded because she did a wonderful job of acting them out, but there's a lot of the movie that's told through a monologue.
Yeah.
So it does feel like, and then it's also just following some of his other movies. We kind of swap, not necessarily swap perspectives, but you kind of move along with the character. And this one, it feels like we're stuck in her brain the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, when it comes to the plot specifically, I totally see what you mean, that it does seem to like almost reference himself in ways that you're like, is this intentional, or is he just like, he
Running
is
out
just,
of ideas.
yeah, he's just stuck in his own like universe. I don't know, for this, for me personally, C minus, D plus. Like, they were, if the movie was half as long and certain parts of it were cut, I think I would really like it as a movie. There's a review on Rotten Tomatoes that made me laugh. It says, Lynch literally lost the plot, an endurance challenge for sure. 1 out of 5 stars. And it does feel like, after watching this, I did feel like I kind of, like, binge watched a show in time to, like, be able to talk about it with someone. Kind of like, you're like, oh, right, I was going to read that book and to talk about someone, and I'm seeing them soon. And you read the book, and then afterwards you're just like, I sat with that one piece of media for too long. Like, that's how this felt to me, where I was just like, I didn't need 3 hours.
Yeah.
Do you have an overall idea of where you want to grade the plot?
Nah.
Just gonna leave it at...
I think Lynch would be happy to know that I'm leaving his last movie a complete mystery of what I would actually grade it.
As it was intended to be.
Yeah. Maybe I wasn't high enough. And by me saying I wasn't high enough, I wasn't high at all, which was why I wasn't following the movie.
You needed to have the sleepy ha-has and have lots of caffeine so that your brain is just making connections that aren't there. And then you would have been in the mind space.
Yeah, I needed to do that. I will say I wasn't... Actually, never mind. I'll wait until Spoiler
Town. Okay. Then, final question. How likely would you recommend this movie to others? Interesting that's not immediate no.
Yeah. Part of me would be like, I don't think I would recommend it to anybody, like to a lot of people. But I think I would recommend it to someone and be like, no, I want you to be I want you to be as confused as I was.
I want you to understand.
I want you to, your brain to be doing what?
It's kind of like whenever I find a weird flavored potato chip and I eat it and go, that's so weird. Why would they make this? And then I shove it in someone else's face. All right, you have to experience it with me.
Yeah.
And then the people are like, no, you look like you hated it. I was like, but I can't describe it. I need you to also.
That's essentially what our podcast is. Shoving weird potato chips into each other's mouth. Hey, you take this.
I saw this and we're going to watch it now.
Except we didn't. My brain was like, well, we didn't watch any of his movies beforehand, except for Eraserhead.
No, not like literally.
Yeah, it was like I saw the poster, put it on the TV.
Mm-hmm. I have vaguely heard of this once. Good enough.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it sounds like we wouldn't be really recommending it unless we just really wanted to be like, no, it's your turn to feel confusion.
I don't know if I would even recommend it for that, only because I have a thing I've realized as I've gotten older, kind of like the complaints that I had about why are TV shows so long. I feel like part of the thing that I look at now when I go to watch new forms of like media, whether it's a TV show or something, is like, do I feel like it respects my time? And I feel like this movie doesn't respect my time. Like, Mulholland Drive at points feels a little bit slower, but it, like, felt intentional. Lost Highway, I was, like, very confused and the pacing felt weird, but again, it felt intentional. This one, I don't know. It's almost like I would be curious. I'm not going to read up on it. I'd be curious if Lynch was looking into writing a play and then it ended up a movie.
Yeah.
Because the way that, like, Laura Dern's character seems to interact with, like, the camera and the monologues, I think it could do well as a play with like the break in between acts.
Mm-hmm.
But like as a like a full movie, I'm just like there's a lot that didn't contribute. And I know Mulholland Drive, we kind of had that complaint because there were a lot of characters that were introduced that we don't get to follow around. But
I feel like the out for Mulholland Drive is that it was intended to be a movie.
yeah, it was like it had a different
intended to be a TV show, not a movie.
Where it'd have more time to breathe.
Yes.
Yeah.
This also reminds me that I misspoke, and Lost Highway is the movie that the person on the podcast the podcaster saying that he watched and thought that David Lynch was the devil, not Mulholland Drive. So
yeah, I do remember you messaging me, and I did remind you, and I forgot to remind you again.
yeah,
You got there.
And then I reminded myself because you said Lost Highway, and I was like, oh yeah.
Speaking of. But yeah, I mean, we're starting to get into the nitty gritty of plot stuff. So, are you ready to?
Well,
set the
should we let
timer?
them know what we're watching next week? Because we have a new director next week.
Oh yeah, it's a whole new month, and we
A
kind of
whole
hinted.
new month. This is not what we're watching.
We did hint at it being someone who is like known in the space of like horror films. We are going to be watching through John Carpenter films.
Yeah.
So next week specifically, we'll start with Halloween.
Oh yeah, we literally just talked about that, and I was like, we are.
Yeah, yes, Halloween. Because I think I did it in order. Most of them are oldest to newest, except one of the movies that we've watched and talked about previously on the podcast. We were like, that should come out on Halloween.
Yes. It's also kind of funny that we're not putting Halloween out on Halloween, but anyway, it's like whatever. It doesn't bother me.
It's the start of the season.
Yeah. It's the holiday season, and the ice is defrosting, and we are going to hold on to our spooky vibes as long as possible.
It is interesting. This is the first year we're not doing anything super cursed for the Christmas season.
I kind of miss it, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? There's only so much cursed Christmas stuff we can do every year. I still like the Rankin Bass ones. I did like that. That was fun.
The only cursed thing about that was like, oh, sexism was real back then. The whole bullying of Rudolph the reindeer, and I was like, why is the coach this mean?
Because he needed to go to the dentist.
Real bad.
Oh, shoot. I forgot to set up the timer. Can you imagine if David Lynch made a musical?
What if this was going to be a musical? He has dance numbers in it.
I
There's
know.
a lot of music.
I meant to tell you, it was like, hey, you're going to like this one. It's got dance. And then, I was in shell shock after.
When you finally made it to the end of the movie, you're just like, yeah, don't watch it if you're sleepy.
Yeah, that was my only thing. Because you were mentioning something in there, and I was like, I legitimately don't remember that's here. I have a Zune.
Nice.
It broke it. My brother sent it to me. I was hoping that it would work. Battery's dead, but it doesn't surprise me too much seeing how it's like over 10 years old. Mm-hmm. So now I gotta go find a different MP3 player to test things. Any poops. All right, if we're all ready, I'm going the
Train to Spoiler Town.
There we go. I was like, what's it called? Yeah, the train to Spoiler Town is taking off in 3, 2, 1. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
We have said a lot of negative things about the movie, so I guess let's start. Is there anything about it you did enjoy?
I think I did like, so speaking of, I think I do like the last chunk of the movie. I guess what would be looking at the Wikipedia, because they kind of give like a quick thing where I think I enjoy I guess like the climax of it. Mm-hmm. of the Phantom and all that stuff, mainly because it's just hilarious looking to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it flashed on the screen and I looked at it and I went, how has that not been memed? That feels like it should have been memed.
It's pretty much what, like, I feel like all creepypasta and
Yeah.
like indie horror games for multiple years was kind of all based around. Um, but I don't know. There's so I think I shouldn't say one thing. I think something that I do like about this movie is that there are moments where you have to pay attention to how they are addressing each other, because that tells you, are they acting or are they in a different time period? Like are they like in a different moment of their life? And because like in the beginning, it was like there was the whole section where they were telling man who's like notorious with sleeping, her co-actor,
The co-lead or
isn't he the director from Mulholland Drive?
Yeah, I noticed a lot of repeat like faces that
Yeah.
from his other movies as well. But yeah, I believe he's the male lead of the film.
and it's like they are on a TV show and they're just like, oh, are you going to be naughty? You can't sleep with them. And
the talk show
yeah,
format. Yeah.
and they're like, no, we're gonna keep it professional. And it was just like, okay. And like throughout the whole movie when I was awake, which is not a good way to put it, I was thinking of what the old lady was saying, where it's just like,
There's gonna be a murder.
There's that, but she more specifically was like, there was a boy who split himself and the evil remained while he went on there, and then the girl, she went down an alleyway and like disappeared, because, and then like the shadow chased, like she went into another world. And so like Lynch, I think at the beginning of his movies, like when you're like still trying to gain your, like, what am I watching, what's going on, like what's all this stuff, I feel like he kind of gives bits and pieces of like, hey, here's something that is going to at least give the framework. And it's like later, Nikki goes through, like, she's kind of goes through an alleyway and there's Axon N.
Yeah, all like varying size letters.
Yeah.
On the Wikipedia it says AXXON and then capital N.
Where she sees that and goes back, which I thought that was pretty cool. Like when she goes through into the back set, and then we go back to the beginning where it's like Nikki and the lead
doing the first table read. Yeah.
And like the director's like, there's someone back there, and it's like we see that it's her, and I was like, I wasn't expecting that to be in the first like half of the movie. But and then it's like when we're first, like, that's when she like escapes, and then she's trapped in this like not motel, but like this random house that I feel like it's in Poland or something. As she's like screaming through the window about all this and going
calling
back
for Billy to like help her or something. Yeah.
Which I don't think his name was Billy, was his stage name, I believe.
His character.
Yeah.
He is Devin or Billy.
Yeah. And so it was, but yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. But there's another scene where it's like before they like, oh man, they be banging, where
it's all blue, or
where it's all blue and everything, but there's like a whole scene of them just like, after you hear all the warnings, like, don't touch this, like her husband like is not a person to mess around with. And then there's like a scene, and it's like they don't say their character names until like the end of the thing. And so it's
the fireplace one, or the
no, they're like
window?
Outside, I think,
by the porch or something.
Yeah. And they're like kind of going back there, and it's like the way it's shot, like their clothing for the movie is still looks modern day for that time period. So it's like, are they, like, what's going on? They just said no, we don't like each other and everything. And then it's like after that scene, that's like, oh, there's the kindle of interest that shouldn't be there, because it's like, oh, let me get you coffee or all this stuff. And then I forget, something happens where she's like, ah, shoot, heck with you, later. But yeah, and then I'm blanking. The fireplace scene happens after they
I think
they
that
cheat.
I think
Right?
that one's right after that they're intimate with each other.
Yeah.
Then it's the fireplace, and then yeah, like I will agree. I think my favorite parts of the movie are those moments when you're in the actor's head where they're having trouble separating, like they said, they hint that it's like a cursed script and like bad stuff happens around it all the time, and they go like what, and they go haha, I don't know.
They ended up dead.
Yeah. And then yeah, I think that's always interesting when, because it happens at least, I'd say like three times, like three
Yeah.
major times, where you think you can't tell if they're in character or not until the camera rolls away. I think for me,
Yeah.
my favorite one was the very last one, where as the viewer, I was just like, this has got to be the dream. Like, it can't be what's happening. And then it ended up being the film. But
When
then when
she's
they pull,
dying on the side.
yeah, but then they pull away, and I'm like, she's still laying there, and the director's standing over her and going, yes, good shot, and she's now moving.
Yeah. It's one of the theories that I was sitting there, and I haven't read any like I did before, but it's like, it almost felt like she was blurring the lines of who her character was and who she was, like where
Oh,
she
yeah,
was
like,
method.
the only note I wrote was method acting too much.
Yeah, it's like, so is this what it's like to act with Jared Leto?
Ah,
So, but instead of sending inappropriate
rats.
things, and yeah, it was she
She fell in love, and
yeah, like, I don't
And
know.
I think the other scene I also like, speaking of like it being like more so about her getting lost in the character, is when she goes to his house and she's
Yeah.
calling him the wrong name, and she's like, it's me, Susie, and he's like, I don't, that, no, and she's like, no, I love you, it's me, Susie, you remember me, don't you?
Yeah.
And the other woman keeps like trying to get sense into her, and it's not working.
Yeah. And well, it's also interesting because I think that house that they're in is her husband, like the her house in the beginning.
Yeah, the very beginning when
So
she's
it's-
first visited.
Yeah, and so it's confusing in that sense as well. Like, for it's like, wait, whose house are we in? Because it's like the there's that whole thing where she's like, "What are you doing?" All this stuff, and she's like, "No, like, Billy, I love you," and he's like, "Why are you here in front of my wife and kid?" And then but it's like, I think that's also the same like set piece where like they're acting in front of the fireplace and it pulls out and there's like cameras watching.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So I feel like this movie is a good way to show, I feel like, sanity breaking for like Call of Cthulhu-esque terms and Delta Green, where it's like you're in the moment and then it's just like something is not sitting right and it splits and you're just like, what's going on? Is like, because I think like that whole scene, the fireplace scene, when she reveals that it's like there's cameras and she does like a whole reaction like, what? And it's like, because we don't even see like the production crew behind him. It's just, we just see the camera just slowly like crawl
Pan
back
out.
into the shadows.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
like
yeah.
those I liked, but again, I don't think it needed to be as long as it was.
Oh yeah.
I understand that like there was this whole confusing bit about her life getting mixed up with the like Polish woman's, because she has that moment where she's living in like the smaller apartment. She's like married to the one guy who's a hitman assassin.
Mm-hmm.
And then like who is actually trying to avenge like the Polish girl that was harmed because she's the same one from the beginning or something. Like I
Yeah.
think if that stuff was trimmed away, I would have also been just as fine with it. Cuz again, I think the thing that confused me is maybe that's her also getting lost into that character too, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's her getting lost into different films that she's done. But I would have been happier if we just really focused in on the like the movie, because I mean there is the one reference where the guy's like going out to like a outhouse and he's like, you need to go to Inland Empire. I was like, that's the name of the movie.
Yeah. It should have just ended there. No. um.
And I think the other thing I like did think was kind of funny is how the director and his assistant, I don't remember his assistant's name, but it always felt like they didn't know they were in a Lynch film. Like
Yeah.
everybody else is panicking and screaming and they're just standing there going, "Are you okay?" Are you,
Mm-hmm.
or like the scene where she like starts crying during the table read and they're like, "Oh my god, she's like a really good actress."
Yeah, and he was just like, "Shut up, shut up! Don't interrupt." Yeah, it's. I don't know. It was definitely something where, um, it would have been. I guess yeah, it would just have been interesting to be like, yeah, if it focused, I guess, a little bit more on, like her losing herself, and like getting in. Because, yeah, this was her first time acting, if I remember correctly.
I don't know, because on the Wikipedia it says that character is, yeah, it says, oh, I forgot where it is. But one of the descriptions for the movie says like she's anxious about getting roles because she's a little bit older of an actress, and that
Okay.
like something like
That
that.
would make sense. And, like, if she was older, I think it would also make sense that, like, um, yeah, because now I think I do remember, like, a line where she does say, yeah, no, I'm a little bit older than what was expected and stuff. But it's like,
Okay, it does say, at least somebody wrote on the IMDb that she's a fading movie star. So maybe to
okay.
imply that like this is her first role she's gotten in a little while, because she
Yeah.
was really excited to get the role.
Mm-hmm. Um, but yeah, I think if the only thing I can think of, if like the girl, and it's, I don't know, I know we're never gonna get an answer, but it's just more like, okay, was she, like, since it was a little while since she acted and all that stuff, like, could Axon N be like almost like a therapist, or something, helping her to be like get like, hey, the actors aren't you. And it's like, if that's why, like, whenever she meets with him, it's like almost a completely different setting, different, like, almost a different area. And it's like, that was the last movie she was in. and
That'd be an interesting take.
and it's like, what if, like, the reason why she's like almost going around killing herself and losing herself is like, no, she has to like mentally kill off these characters in her head so she can return back to herself.
That would be fascinating. Yeah, I know that Wikipedia does have, it explains within the plot when that's referenced, the Axon N.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, a cracking final record in the prologue announces that Axon N is the longest running radio play in history and is turning to a gray winter day in an old hotel. Then in the narrative section, they say she walks into an alley and enters a door named Axon N, which leads to the On High and Blue Tomorrows set, but also seems to take her back in time. because, like you said, that's her going through and saying, like, wait a second, that's me at the table, Reed.
Yeah.
And then in the climax, it says she follows a man upstairs and enters an apartment named that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she finds the phantom.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the wiki summarizes the phantom transformed into a gross figure with a face resembling Nikki's before dying. Resembles is a stretch, but sure.
Don't tell Laura Dern that. She doesn't deserve that.
So yeah, it does appear in all manners of ways and does seem to take on like the form of whatever she's directly like faced with in the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, it feels, I don't know. I feel like saying like it'd be nice if there was a little bit more structure, but I feel like that goes against a Lynch film. But at the same time, I do agree where it's like, let's, if it did feel like, and I think we agree with this, where he wanted to, it's like, this might be my last movie, so let me get everything that I wanted to do out of my system.
Yeah, when was this released again?
2007, I believe.
2000. Wiki has 2006, but same difference. It's all within that time.
So, I was in my senior year of high school.
Time flies.
But yeah, it's, and like because like I guess like the prostitutes and all that stuff like that, it was, I almost felt like they were like her and not her at the same time.
Yeah, like almost like, you know how they say like you have different parts of your brain? Like it kind of felt like that in some ways where she's like sitting there battling with, well, what do I do? And it's just like, you know, different discussions.
Yeah, like what if those were all the other roles that she put on?
Yeah, but yeah, I think the last thing that he did was the release of Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah,
in 2017.
Yeah, I guess movies.
This is his last movie, but I was just curious if he had any other projects like between.
Yeah. Who knows? Not me.
I'm looking at the wiki. The only other, it was Inland Empire, and then 11 years later, Twin Peaks on Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
The Return.
But yeah, the thing that was cracking me up though at the end was like during the credits there was Nico with the wig and the monkey.
And then another dancing.
Not more dancing. And then Camila was there. Mm-hmm. Which I was like, okay, is
it all connected?
Yeah. Well, like, that's why I wanted to find out who the heck was playing okay, so Naomi Waltz was one who was
she's the blonde, right?
In Mulholland Drive. She was one of the rabbits.
Oh yeah, I see a reference that he had some online project called Rabbits, and that's their voiceovers were used in then Empire as well. Let me see. So Rabbits was a web series of 8 horror episodes created by David Lynch. Lynch himself referred to it as a sitcom. He has a sitcom.
Oh, there we go.
3 humanoid rabbits played by Scott Coffey, Laura Elena Herring, and Naomi Watts in a room.
It used to be only on his website, but it's no longer there. Now you can only get it on DVD. So, as of 2020, Lynch has occasionally uploaded. Well, not anymore, but I like how uploading is in there. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna.
You see if his website is still up.
I'm gonna see if it's on YouTube because it says that he would. Okay, well, let's see. Oh yeah, they're all there.
There's a sitcom you wanted.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. David Lynch's Rabbit's ambiance for 10 hours.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, here, someone uploaded. Looks like, oh, and they're not too long. I don't know. It looks like the whole thing is 42 minutes. But I don't know. Maybe I'll poke around and watch it and get back to people. But yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, because like if I don't know where I was going with that. My brain went kapoots. But yeah, right. I don't know. Was there anything else? Oh, go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So we've seen this, like, you know, what people will call kind of like a trilogy. And he kind of, like, David Lynch, I've noticed, has a lot of similar things he'll do with, like, side characters or main characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they kind of, like, you have, like, the harbinger who's like coming in and like warning you in riddle but refuses to tell you like what's happening. You have a side character who knows too much, and because he knows too much dies right away. So like in the example of Mulholland Drive, it's the guy's like, I had that dream, and then instantly eats it for the diner. Or you have like a character who is like terrible things happen to them, and sometimes they are important in the plot. So, like, in this one, you have, like, the Polish girl in the beginning. Mulholland Drive, you have the the character that, like, is and isn't her. In The Lost Highway, you have the, like, girlfriend, the younger girlfriend who's, like, trying to stick it out. So, we have, let's say, like, there's those three categories, and then you have the main characters who are basically stuck in, I imagine, as a sort of purgatory. If you had to survive in a David Lynch world, which role would you want to end up in? The riddle speaker? The side character that's maybe survives, but you know you're in the universe. You know what's going on.
You're aware.
Yeah, you're unfortunately aware. The side character that takes the sacrifices for the main character. Or one of the main characters as you're watching your sanity kind of melt away.
I want to be the riddle. I want to be Riddle Man.
Riddle Man.
He just shows up and just like, okay, peace. It's like, that's all I had to do.
And they go, what do you mean? And you go, I said it. And you go, no, you didn't. And you go, I have to go now.
Yeah, it's like, and then I just got to show up. Like, I don't know. I think the best one would be the cowboy, because I'm just like,
if you see
me twice, you did good, or you see me thrice,
you've done
sucks to be you. So
you got the bad ending.
You got bad. That's one thing. I said I was going to save it for Spoiler Town, but I will ask you what role you would want to take. But there's one thing that cracks me up so much about this whole all these David Lynch's movies, where everyone gives, what is it? I'm blanking on it. It's like, Mark, why'd you do that? I forget what it's called. It's like always made fun of. Hey, Mark.
The Room.
Yeah, it's like people always make fun of that for like not great dialogue. I'm like, I don't think there's really amazing dialogue in any of these Lynch films. It feels like everyone's like awkwardly like, oh yeah, I speak, right?
Yeah, they do feel like they talk past each other. But I think the other thing is like the reason The Room is such a weird treasure in itself is he paid so much advertising to like convince people to watch it as if it was like gonna be a movie. Yeah. when he funded it, but that's fine.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I just know a lot of people meme it. But anyway, what role would you want to be in a Lynch film?
I would suggest you watch The Room because, like, I agree David Lynch's dialogue feels like characters talk past each other, but I feel like that's on purpose, whereas The Room, it's...
Not.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell. But yeah, so if I had to pick a role, while I think the riddle giver would be fun, I also imagine if I had to do that constantly, I'd get tired of it. Like, I'd want to be able to have a conversation at one point, but instead I have to go around and go, you messed up, and then just leave.
Yeah.
And then, like, I have to go to, like, whoever else is stuck in this world. It feels like being the Grim Reaper in a way. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, my appointment, I gotta go to the next main character and tell them a riddle. It's like,
can I be the Grim Reaper from Billy and Mandy?
But like the older woman in Inland Empire, she's like, oh, I have to do this again. Yeah. I have to come to this house. Like, she was not happy to have to come and like give the riddle.
True.
So I think, to be honest, I'd rather be the side character who knows too much, just so I don't have to sit through all of the, like, shenanigans that are about to unfold. Yeah.
You know what? I want to change my answer. I want to be the main character and force you to come along my stupid brain rot adventure.
So instead of me going, hey, I had this weird dream, and you go, we're not going to recreate your dream. That's a terrible idea. You died in your dream. And I'd be like, are you sure? I really feel like I should go and figure out what this dream means. No. I have to go find out what the riddle man meant when he said not to put the key in the hole. I have to put the key in the hole. And I'm like, no, not the key.
I gotta go find the straight way.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I understand why people would be fascinated with Lynch films, because it feels like I can imagine people that, like, if you're in like a film critique class, you could easily let the students watch it and then sit back and listen to them argue for hours, right? You don't have to teach a lesson that day. Yeah. And then you occasionally come in and go, did you remember this scene? And then everybody goes at it again. Yeah. But as far as like enjoying what's on the screen at the moment, I don't think it's for me.
Yeah, I think I know I've said this multiple times for other directors. I really think I mean this for Lynch, where I'm like, I think I would have preferred a little bit more time rather than a weekly watch of his films.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, it
give
does
the
not...
brain a break.
I don't feel well. And I think I purposely, like, not to say that I didn't think I would like Inland Empire, but after, like, Lost Highway, I was like, if Mulholland Drive is as intense as Lost Highway, I don't know if I'm going to be okay. Mm-hmm. But Mulholland Drive did feel paced in a different way. And then it feels like Inland Empire was paced slower than Mulholland Drive, but as much was happening as Lost Highway. Yeah. And I was just like, I do need the break. I do need the break from these films. Mm-hmm. And like, my brain is like, we're gonna try and connect dots. I was like, there's no dots. Yeah. There aren't dots. He acknowledges that it's like supposed to be surreal, and it's okay. It doesn't need to have an answer. Mm-hmm. But my brain is just like, but that showed up an hour ago, and I'm like, an hour ago feels like a lifetime ago. But because we're following a character, she's essentially living multiple lifetimes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I wouldn't, like, if this was done now, like, this would have been the last film that he ever did, and pretty much there would be like references to like all his other movies, while it's just like, where it's like this, I feel like for something like this, where it's like, I feel like Laura Dern would have to be in every single movie, and it's just like, look, you're gonna be like side characters or other characters in here, and it's all gonna build up to this last one that's like doing this, and it's like, okay, so then it's like, yeah, this make like kind of, I don't know, this is how my brain is thinking that I would like to do it, but I'm not David Lynch, so I will say, like, we're out of time, but okay. There is a I don't even know if I would call it a TTRPG, but it is one that I remember listening to people play it, and I'm kind of interested in picking it up now after watching Lynch films. I agree. I think I like TV Lynch a lot better than the movie Lynch. But I did really enjoy. I think that out of the five, I really enjoyed Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive. I think
Yeah.
I think
I
those
think I'm in
two.
the same
Yeah.
boat.
And the Straight Way or whatever it was called, didn't even feel like we were watching the same director.
Yeah, that's kind of in its own, yeah.
Yeah, I remember putting that in there like, oh, this will be interesting, but I didn't realize we would need the brain break between Lost High or Mulholland Drive and whatever we just watched, and Inland Empire. But there's a pretty much a TTRPG called Something Is Wrong Here, and it's pretty much based off of Lynch's work. And I remember like listening to it, and it's interesting. It's much more of like an improv game.
Okay.
And there's like this whole like pretty much you hand out cards, and like you kind of get your role in there, and it's like pretty much each scene you have to like, there's the purpose of the scene, and then you have to choose like one of the other players to act out that scene with it. And then like pretty much it's like, no, like depending on the card that you draw, like it needs to, like, this is how you're supposed to end the scene. And it's not like your traditional TTRPG where it's like, oh, we roll dice, we do the. It's very much more of an improv game.
Okay.
And then there's a whole thing where it's like in the middle of it, you have to like look in a mirror. Like there's a couple things where like you have to look in a mirror and then like say what your character is thinking or how they changed. And then there's like another part where you have to play a certain song, which gets all the copyright claims going on. So they
Of course.
yeah. So these guys found a song that matched close to it, but it's like pretty much at the end of it, it's supposed to, you and your friends would have acted out your own Lynch kind of film. And
Okay.
and I'm like, I don't know how expensive it is. Like, I don't think it's a very expensive game, but I'm like, I know I seen it at PAX Unplugged a couple times, and I'm like, oh, that might be interesting. But I think now after watching Lynch's films, I'm like, you know what? That I might actually pick it up and see. I'm like, hey, I want to do this. The requirement is that you have to have seen Lynch's films to be part of that. I'm not saying, hey, you're recruited unless you really want to. But
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, like, I have been interested in some RPG systems that run off of things like that. It's a little off topic, but I remembered I did one of those bundle fundraisers, and I realized I have a bunch of single player RPGs where you use a deck of cards and you answer questions, and then like one of them's cozy and silly where you're a hedgehog that owns like a fabric store.
was this on
and you-
itch.io? This
Yeah.
bundle? I think we both found that realized we both had that bundle.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
and
like,
one of
whoa.
the yeah, and it's like you use like, I forget if it's a deck of tarot or regular playing cards, but depending on like the suit and different things, you go, oh, you get a customer that's like this. How do you like work with that customer? And then you build up a little like notebook story where you do writing. I was like, maybe I'll do one of those to get into writing. A little different than what you were explaining, but it is interesting to have more of like a off the cuff kind of thing. But in any case, you said the timer ran out.
Yep.
So I figured before we go off on a tangent, as we do, just to remind people that next week is us starting up a John Carpenter and starting off with Halloween.
Yep. Also, just realized that because I'm like, why is this link clicked on Wikipedia? And I hovered over it, and it's Camila. She was also one of the rabbits. So, yeah. Naomi Watts and Laura Herring, I don't know how to pronounce that, are
Both in that
The
series.
the lady rabbits, I don't know who the guy is, but he apparently was also in Mulholland Drive.
I'm gonna click through
Scott Coffey.
Let me look up a picture. There's not a lot of pictures of him. There's a picture with him and Lynch. I don't directly recognize him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at all cast and crew to see if I can find him in here. Oh yeah, I can do Control F, right?
It says he's Wilkins. Is that one of the cops?
Maybe Scott Coffey Wilkins. He was at the party here. This.
Oh, he's one of the party goers. Oh no, he's not at the part. Well, he's at the end party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that screenshot.
Okay.
Or I found this one, but yeah, he's at the reveal with all the drama, not at the.
Yeah. Yeah. Same scene. So he's like, we're gonna be rabbits later.
It's probably why I didn't recognize the name Wilkins. I was like, the cops were in like 2 scenes. Is it one of the cops?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll be watching the Carpenter, as Hop said, and yeah, it should be fun. I forgot that I looked up the Rabbits film on my YouTube, and one of the things on here is, why are rabbits evil?
Oh no. I know that is like a typical thing that you see in horror, so.
And then they have the Donnie Darko rabbit right there, and I'm like, oh, okay. But yes, that is it for everyone. Let us know. Is there a Lynch film that we should have put on this list that we missed? That you guys are like, no, you definitely need to be watching this. And if you put Blue Velvet, well, I think we said multiple times why we didn't watch it, but hey.
Maybe you can convince us.
Yeah. Go to the Patreon. And okay, every time I make this joke, there is no Patreon. Unless there is, then...
It's not us.
It's not us. Or it is us from the future.
Yes.
That would be a surprise to me. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching or listening. Let us know what you thought of this movie, and we'll see you next week for Halloween. Till next time. Bye.